The world we live in today is noisy. It is a marketplace of constant chatter, where everyone is shouting to be heard, tweeting to be seen, and broadcasting their every move in search of validation. In the financial markets, I have often seen that the investors who talk the most usually have the least to say. But there is a different kind of power, a quiet power, that comes from knowing what to keep to yourself. Throughout my life, spanning decades of investing and observing human nature, I have realized that silence is often more profitable than speech. When you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. But when you stay silent, you retain the ability to define yourself on your own terms. Most people believe that power comes from displaying strength, from showing off wealth, or from announcing big plans. I have found the opposite to be true. Real leverage, the kind that compounds over a lifetime, is fragile. If you expose it too early or to the wrong people, it dissipates. Today, I want to share with you 6 specific things that I believe you should never tell anyone, or at least things you should guard very carefully. These are not secrets meant to deceive. They are boundaries meant to protect your peace, your potential, and your inner scorecard. We often give away our power in casual conversation without realizing it. We leak our intentions, we expose our vulnerabilities, and we invite competition where there should be none. By the end of our time together today, I hope you will understand why the most valuable asset in your portfolio might just be your own privacy. Let's sit down and talk about the art of keeping your own counsel. Why is it so hard to stay quiet? I believe it is because we are all seeking something that the stock market cannot provide. Emotional validation. We want our neighbors, our friends, and even strangers to know that we are doing well. We want them to know we are smart, that we have a plan, or that we have been wronged. The problem everyday people face, and I see this in business leaders just as often as I see it in beginners, is the outer scorecard. This is when you judge your success by what others think of you, rather than what you know to be true about yourself. When you operate on an outer scorecard, you feel a compulsion to share everything. You buy a stock, and you want to tell your brother-in-law so he knows you are savvy. You have a great business idea, and you tell your coworkers because you want the praise before you've done the work. You feel a resentment, and you vent it to a friend to feel justified. But here is the cost. When you seek validation from the outside, you hand over your autonomy. You give others a vote in your life. If you tell someone your plan and they criticize it, you may doubt yourself. If you tell them and they praise it, you may feel a premature sense of accomplishment and lose the hunger to actually execute the work. This oversharing creates a drag on your momentum. It invites envy. It invites interference, and it distracts you from the long-term compounding of your efforts. Protecting your power means reclaiming your inner scorecard. It means being content with knowing you are doing the right thing, even if, especially if, nobody else knows about it. Let's begin with the first thing you should keep to yourself. Your next big move. In investing, we call this showing your hand. If I am building a position in a company, let's say I am buying shares of a great business, I do not call a press conference to announce it. If I did, the price would go up, and I would lose the opportunity to buy at a fair price. I buy quietly, day after day, sometimes for months, until the work is done. The same logic applies to your life. If you are planning to start a business, to change careers, or to make a significant investment, the worst thing you can do is announce it to the world before it is concrete. There is a psychological phenomenon where telling someone your goal gives your brain the same chemical satisfaction as actually achieving the goal. If you say, "I am going to write a book," and your friends say, "Wow, that's amazing," your brain relaxes. It feels a reward without doing the work. You lose the tension required to drive you forward. Furthermore, announcing your next move invites competition. In business, you want a moat. a protective barrier around your castle. Silence is a form of a moat. It allows you to make mistakes, a correct course, and strengthen your foundation without an audience watching your every step. Don't tell people what you are going to do. Wait until it is done. Let the results speak for you. The gap between the announcement and the achievement is where dreams often die. Close that gap by keeping your mouth shut and your head down. The second thing to protect is the exact number of your net worth or your income. Money is a very emotional topic. It carries weight that goes far beyond arithmetic. In my experience, discussing specific numbers rarely leads to a positive outcome. If you tell someone you have less than them, they may look down on you or offer unsolicited advice that doesn't fit your temperament. If you tell them you have more than them, you breed envy, and envy is the silliest of the 7 deadly sins, because it is the only one that isn't even any fun. There is no pleasure in envy, only pain. Why would you want to trigger that in your friends or family? When people know exactly what you have, their behavior toward you changes subtly. You may become a target for loans, for sure-thing investment schemes, or for guilt. I have always lived in the same house in Omaha. I drive a simple car. I do not wear expensive suits. This is not just because I am frugal. It is because a modest life protects you from the noise of expectation. If you flash your wealth, you attract people who are interested in your wealth, not in you. Keep your financial life boring to the outside world. Be the millionaire next door. The goal of wealth is freedom. The freedom to do what you want with your time. It is not to impress strangers. When you keep your finances private, you maintain the freedom to live below your means without judgment and to compound your money without interference. The third thing involves your heart. It is your charitable acts and your good deeds. Now, you might wonder, Warren, isn't it good to inspire others by showing them what we give? There is a time for public philanthropy, certainly, to set an example. But for the individual, for your own character, anonymous kindness is a powerful force. When you do a good deed and immediately tell everyone about it, you have converted a moral act into a transaction. You traded your kindness for social approval. You bought a reputation. But when you help someone and tell no one, something changes inside you. You realize that you are good not because people are watching, but because that is who you are. This builds a reservoir of self-respect that is incredibly durable. In the long run, your reputation will take care of itself. People sense integrity. They sense when someone is genuine. You don't need to broadcast your virtues. Think of it like a hidden asset on a balance sheet. It doesn't show up in the quarterly report, but it adds immense value to the company. Your character is your hidden asset. If you're constantly cashing it in for applause, you deplete it. Let your kindness be a secret between you and the recipient. It keeps your ego in check and your intentions pure. The fourth thing you must never share, or at least share very sparingly, is your collection of resentments and grudges. My partner Charlie Munger and I have a simple rule. We want to work with people we like, trust, and admire. Life is too short to do otherwise. But we also know that carrying anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. When you voice your grudges, when you tell people how you were wronged, how unfair your boss is, or how your business partner failed you, you are reliving the trauma. You are reinforcing the neural pathways of anger. In not your own brain, you are investing in your own misery. Furthermore, telling others about your enemies often forces them to choose sides. It creates drama and friction in your social circle. And in business, you never know when an enemy might become a friend, or when a competitor might become a partner. If you have spent years bad-mouthing them to everyone in town, you have burned a bridge you might one day need to cross. It is much more powerful to forgive, or if you cannot forgive, to simply forget and move on. Indifference is a much stronger shield than anger. If someone treats you poorly, Note it. Adjust your behavior toward them and proceed. Do not give them rent-free space in your head, and certainly do not give them airtime in your conversations. The fifth area is perhaps the most personal. The conflicts within your family or your household. Every family has disagreements. Every marriage has rough patches. Every parent struggles with their children at some point. These are the natural fluctuations of human relationships. But these struggles belong inside the walls of your home. When you take a private family matter and share it with the world, or even just with neighbors or casual friends, you are violating the trust of your inner circle. You are exposing the people you love to the judgment of strangers who do not know the full context. Once you tell a stranger that your spouse is lazy or your child is ungrateful, that stranger will always view your family through that lens, even long after you have forgiven your family member. You move on, but the stranger remembers the complaint. Protecting your power means protecting your tribe. A unified family is a tremendous source of strength in a difficult world. It provides a safety net that allows you to take risks in your career and investments. If that safety net is frayed by gossip and oversharing, you become vulnerable. Keep your circle tight. Solve problems directly with the people involved, not with an audience. The final thing, number 6, is what I call your fat pitch. In baseball, you can stand at the plate and let strike after strike go by. You don't have to swing at everything. You wait for that one perfect pitch right in your sweet spot, and then you swing with everything you have. In life, you will occasionally stumble upon a unique insight, a business idea, an investment thesis, or a solution to a problem that no one else sees. This is your fat pitch. When you find this, your instinct will be to share it. You want to validate your cleverness, but great opportunities are rare. If you broadcast your unique insight too early, you invite others to steal the idea, or you invite them to talk you out of it. Most great ideas sound crazy at first. If they sounded reasonable, everyone would already be doing them. If you tell a conventional person a non-conventional idea, they will try to pull you back to the average. They will tell you it's too risky. Protect your intellectual capital. Do the work, verify your facts, and have the courage of your convictions. You don't need a committee to tell you you're right. You need facts. Keep your best ideas incubated until they are strong enough to survive the harsh light of the real world. You might be asking, why does this matter? Why is secrecy connected to power? It is not about secrecy for the sake of being mysterious. It is about conservation of energy. Every time you speak, you expend energy, you expend emotional capital, you invite the world to push back against you. Investing is a game of discipline. It is about doing the boring thing over and over again for a very long time. It requires an emotional stability that is hard to maintain if you are constantly tossed around by the opinions of others. When you keep these 6 things private, your plans, your wealth, your charity, your grudges, your family, and your best ideas, you create a reservoir of potential energy. You become like a coiled spring. People will notice a difference in you. They will see that you are not seeking their approval. They will see that you are comfortable in your own skin. That is a form of gravity. It attracts the right opportunities and the right partners. By protecting your privacy, you are protecting your ability to think clearly. And in a world of noise, clear thinking is the ultimate competitive advantage. Let me leave you with a short story, an analogy that I think sums this up well. Imagine 2 farmers. The first farmer plants his seeds, and every morning he goes out to the field, digs them up, and shows them to his neighbors. Look, he says, the root is starting to grow. It's going to be a great harvest. He wants everyone to know he is a good farmer. But because he keeps exposing the roots to the sun and the air, the plants never take hold. They wither and die. The second farmer plants his seeds and smooths the earth over. He tells no one. To the passerby, his field looks empty. It looks like nothing is happening. The neighbors might even whisper that he hasn't done any work. But underground, in the dark, quiet earth, the roots are going deep. They are finding water. They are anchoring themselves. By the time the green shoots break the surface, the plant is already strong enough to survive the wind and the rain. Your life is that field. Your wealth, your relationships, and your goals are the seeds. They need the darkness of privacy to germinate. Do not dig them up just to prove to the world that you are growing. Let them grow in the dark, and the harvest will be undeniable. So, how do we apply this? It is easy to say stay quiet, but hard to do. Here are 3 practical steps you can take starting today. First, apply the 24-hour rule. If you have a big piece of news, good or bad, or a burning desire to post something on social media about your life, wait 24 hours. Sleep on it. You will be amazed at how often the urge to share vanishes. By the next morning, you will realize it was just an impulse for validation. Second, audit your conversations. Next time you are at dinner with friends, observe yourself. Are you complaining about a family member? Are you bragging about a purchase? Catch yourself. Stop mid-sentence if you have to. Practice the art of listening. Be the person who asks questions, not the one giving answers. Third, use the I-pass method. In the stock market, I don't have to swing at every pitch. In conversation, you don't have to have an opinion on everything. If someone asks about your finances or your plans, you can simply smile and say, I'm just taking it one day at a time. You can pass. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Building wealth and a strong character is a marathon, not a sprint. It is a lonely journey in many ways, but it is a rewarding one. By keeping these 6 areas of your life private, you are not hiding, you are fortifying. You are keeping your ego small and your potential large. You are protecting your power so that when the time is right, you can use it to take care of yourself, your family, and the world. Silence is a wonderful habit to cultivate. It costs nothing, but it pays high dividends. If this message helped you think a little more clearly about your own life, and if you enjoy this calm approach to wisdom and wealth, you may want to stay with the channel. There is a subscribe button there. Clicking it is a small investment that I hope will compound for you over time. Remember, the most important relationship you have is the one with yourself. Keep your scorecard internal. Keep your plans focused, and let your results do the talking. Be well and invest in yourself.